talk about the Raiders win real quick. Cody, it was a huge upset, and I know you and we felt like the Chiefs were going to win this game. I came on here and said I believe the Raiders have a chance to win. But obviously they were going to have to get a pass rush. They were going to have to, Carr obviously was going to have to play a little bit better, and we're going to have to run Jacobs. Well, we pretty much did all that. We got to Mahomes a lot. Henry Ruggs was back on the field. That was a huge bonus for us. That opened the field so much. Nelson Aguilar had a huge touchdown. Darren Waller, he had 5 catches, 48 yards, and one of them was a touchdown. It was a big win. I mean, what did you think, and what can the Raiders continue to do for next week? Or I guess in 2 weeks, sorry.
No worries. So I think the Raiders, what they did really well in is they pressured Patrick Mahomes. Out of his 43 dropbacks, we sacked him 4 times. We were able to hit him about 5 times. But I think what we were witnessing with the Raiders front was doing, which was honestly a surprise to both of us, is they were getting pressure to Mahomes and moving him outside the pocket, which is what makes him deadly. But when they were moving him, they were making him use a lot of stamina, a lot of his strength to basically keep looking down the field. And, when you do that 43 times and you drop back and you've got to, move, you got to run to this side 10 yards, the other side another 10 yards, you got to scoot up 6 yards or whatever, and you're doing that on every single play, it's going to wear you out. And especially the offensive line. Like, I know that when we want our defense to get off the field because of time of possession, it's crucial for our defense. When we are on the field for too long, we give up the big plays. And also on the other hand too, if our defense front is doing really well to where we are manipulating the pocket and wearing down the offensive line, then the more that Patrick Mahomes was going outside the pocket, the more that we were getting to him. And Patrick Mahomes was still Patrick Mahomes. We did get him to throw his first interception of the season. So him and Carr both threw an interception. Derek Carr threw 347 yards on 31 attempts. So that averaged to about 11 yards per throw, where Patrick Mahomes had to throw the ball 43 times for 340, which is about 8 yards per attempt. So Derek Carr threw the ball more. Henry Ruggs had, a fantastic 118 yards, one huge 72-yard touchdown catch, which you and I were texting each other like crazy afterwards. But, the Raiders were able to move the pocket and manipulate where Mahomes went. However, Mahomes still diced us up. I mean, Kelce still had 8 catches on 12 targets. But outside of that, he was the only one that had more than 3 catches. Clyde Edwards had 3 catches and Tyreek Hill only had 3 catches. And that was about it. Kelce was basically the primary target, which he's always been the one to hurt us. And he had a late touchdown, I believe it was in the 4th quarter, which basically brought the game to within 1 score. But the Raiders defense, can't say enough. The secondary did really well in trying to play everybody in front of them, not letting too many things over the top. I know that you will bring this up, but we need to have, we definitely need to have Harris sit, and we need to start Jeff Heath now at safety. He was the one that picked off Mahomes, but he was the one that caught the ball and basically was the one that got in between the throw that Mahomes was trying to thread to Kelce, and he was able to return it. But again, we need that ball hawk that's there to find the ball and to be there when it's delivered to, disrupt the passing and not let those big plays get thrown. Because when Harris was on the field, we were giving up big throws to Kelce. We were giving him up to Hill, and before Sammy Watkins got injured, we were giving him up to him. Harris is a good team captain, but it just seems like he's just not playing himself like he did last season, and we need someone with Heath's experience to be on the field. And I was texting you this. We need to think about kicking the tires on Earl Thomas, because we need somebody out there who's a ball hawk that can locate the ball and watch the quarterback to see what he's doing, because we can't keep having Harris look lost out there, in my opinion. But for the most part, the Raiders offense looked dynamic, and you're right. Henry Ruggs was a big reason. Jacobs had 2 rushing touchdowns, so that was a huge play for us. Waller was fantastic. The Raiders offense could compete with anybody. It's just the defense we need to make sure that they're a bend, don't break to For us to stay in the games, win late games, score a bunch of points, and not give up the lead so much like what we did with the Chiefs. So I think those are the big takeaways for the Raiders in this in the game against the Chiefs.
I think this game proved that the Raiders have to have turnovers. They need to create turnovers to win these games. I think there's no question anymore, because what did we do? We put a lot of pressure on Mahomes and eventually pressured him into throwing an interception. And to your credit, as you were saying, yes, I have been wanting Jeff Heath to start from the beginning, and I think I said it on this pod. I'd rather see Jeff Heath. I know they like Eric Harris, but I think Heath is the better player. And I think Heath is the smarter player. I'm sure Harris is stronger. I'm sure Harris is a better tackler. I'm sure Harris is faster. But overall, smarts is better. And especially for our defense, we need someone who's smart. And you look at when Nick Kwiatkowski was at the middle linebacker position, he came back in this game. He was a huge help. He was putting us in the right position at the right time. And you look at the interception that Heath had, and not only was just the pressure that Mahomes was getting, he was trying to thread something. Heath read it really well, and he tricked Mahomes into that pass. Heath actually came from the right. I guess if you're Mahomes looking at him, Heath came from the left side. He went to the right of Kelce, and then he threw it because he thought Heath was going to keep going, but Heath baited him into it and realized he was going to go back to him. And so he ran over and snagged it. So with Jeff Heath, I thought he plays a lot smarter. And he's the one who, creates he creates all the turnovers for us. So Max Crosby had a really good game. He put a lot of pressure, but one guy who really stood out to me was Clelin Ferrell. Yeah. Ferrell had a outstanding game. He was putting a lot of pressure on Mahomes. He was getting his hands. He has been really good at when he gets pressure on the quarterback and realizes that quarterback is trying to get the ball out quickly, he's putting his hand up, and he's swatted a few now. So I gotta give it to Ferrell. He did a really good job. I was quite impressed. Littleton had a better game. It was nice to see him. And you're right. When we were talking about Harris, he gave up a deep ball to Tyreek Hill. The only reason they didn't get a touchdown was because there was an illegal formation by the Chiefs, and we got lucky on that. I mean, it was the right call. It was a penalty, but we got lucky on that. And Eric Harris blew his assignment big time. He hesitated so bad, and it was like, dude, why are you hesitating? You have help below. Why are you not ahead? It was double coverage, and he just burned them all both. I think Jeff Heath on that play, he knows that I have help underneath. I'm going to stay on top of him. And I think he would have. Is Tyreek Hill faster? Yeah, I'm absolutely. But if you get a running start, you can pretty much go stride for stride with Hill. Okay. And I know a lot of people want to be like, well, Carr, he finally let loose. Listen, yes, but also look at the receivers. They got separation. There was huge. The throw to Aguilar, that was all Carr. That was all Carr. The throw to Ruggs burned his guy. I mean, and I'm not taking anything away from Carr. I think Carr had a fantastic game. Yep. And honestly, I think the interception helped him because he got rid of it and he was like, okay, it's over with. Let's go. And he kept going at him. And I think he needed to – I think he was playing conservative a little bit the last two games because he didn't want to turn the ball over. And now he finally got that turnover, like that first interception of the year. And he was like, okay, that's out of the way. And I think he felt better that he didn't have to worry about not throwing an interception. I think Gruden was like, hey, keep going. And it was a bad throw. It was. He overthrew it. He got a little, but after that, he settled in.
Yeah.
Ruggs with that huge touchdown. Obviously, Aguilar, Waller caught one. He had a big throw to Hunter Renfrow, like down the middle, which was great. Yeah, I mean, it was a great win. The defense put a lot of pressure, but here's the thing: I still want Gunther fired because we still gave up 32 points, and we really controlled the game. After we were down, 14-3, 14-0. After that, we pretty much controlled the game, but our defense kept letting the Chiefs back in it. And for me, as much as, yes, Gunther got these guys to go, he's not going to do it every week. I think there was a lot of pressure on him. But I think if he's smart, he's going to play Heath. Hopefully we can keep Nick Kwiatkowski. Hopefully he won't get injured. Hopefully Littleton continues what he's been doing. And then Jonathan Abram, he had a couple more where he like overran things. So he's going to have to learn how to control himself, because if he does, he's going to be a threat as well. So, and Trayvon Mullen, when he went down, he got injured early in the game, and I was like, oh man, we're done. Our defense is done. But luckily he came back, and he actually looked better when he came back than when he was starting in the game. So, yeah, it was a good win. I mean, I'm not taking anything away. Do I see them beating the Chiefs again in Las Vegas? They have a chance, but I would probably still pick the Chiefs on that one. But hopefully the Raiders can continue what they're doing in their winning ways.